Okay, Joshua, we're back. I just restarted because I was afraid it was going to get too long and I might run out of space or something. So, good. Here we are. I want to go through an example for everybody. And I should have sent this to you before. My apologies. Let me send this to ICT. So everybody... Oh, all right. Okay, I'm going to send you normalizing doc. And we're going to attach a file which I have up here in my Google Drive, GQ 1314 ICT, normalizing example. Come on, quick. There you go. Send. Okay, everybody should have an example in their email now. It will probably be worthwhile for you to open up that document as we are going forward. I think it's going to be frustrating for you otherwise. So, is everybody making progress on that?
Right now.
Yeah, open up your email.
We're waiting for it to come.
Okay, good.
Refresh.
Then I will start discussing what we've got here as we go through. I have made a database and a table which is meant to represent students and classes and teachers and periods within the GDQ high school. So let's see how I've done it. I have first name, last name.
That's not what mine looks like. You're on.
You should go to the very first tab
Okay,
here,
I was
GDQ HS.
I'm like, what?
Okay. So, and then I've got class 1 so that I can put a name there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Then I've got class 1 teacher, class 1 time, class 2 teacher, class 2 time, class 3 teacher, class 3 time. You see how that works?
Yeah.
And you see the data within there.
Why not make 3 separate tables for each class?
Talk to me about the problems with the way I have organized my data here.
There's no primary key.
Okay? No primary key.
Lots
Good.
of Johns, a couple Smiths.
Okay, we've got 2 John Smiths here and no way at all of being able to determine the difference between them. Let's take a look at sheet 1. All right? Basically the same thing, but I've gone ahead and put an ID in there in the beginning. You see how that's a little bit better
Yeah.
from how it is? Talk to me about other problems that you see here.
There's inconsistencies in class times. Some of them are good times and others are just periods.
So how's that again?
Some are just periods and some are
They're
class times. So
inconsistent
you
form.
can't say just integer or just bar chart because they're both.
Okay, sometimes I said 11 o'clock, other times I said third period, sometimes I said period 2. I've been very inconsistent. Sometimes I said 9:00, other times I said 9 a.m. There's no consistency at all in the times I put up there. We'll deal with that at the very end. What's another problem you see? Israel?
Some names you write their full name and some names you just write their first name.
So for the teachers,
Some
all right,
classes
sometimes
don't
it's
exist.
Chappelle, sometimes it's Kyle, sometimes it's Mr. Chappelle, sometimes it's Chappelle, Kyle. So there's no consistency going through there in our data. All right?
I think there's
Tim?
something.
Some of these
important.
classes don't exist.
Some of these classes don't exist. Some of the class names themselves are inconsistent. Do you see any inconsistencies in the name of the classes?
The basket
Algebra
weaving.
one.
We've got
Sometimes
basket
it's
weaving. We've
spaces.
also got underwater basket weaving.
Spaces,
Algebra
algebra.
first year and then just algebra 1.
We've got algebra first year, algebra 1. We've got ICT honors. Okay, that's the same thing.
ICT 2.
That's ICT honors. I don't know what you call it. Okay.
ICT 1 is
But it's also ICTII.
the newbie people.
And so it's a different, we've got a lot of inconsistencies. Let's see what the next step is that I did in order to create a more effective database. This is the process of normalizing. We're trying to get rid of data inconsistency, trying to get rid of redundancy, and trying to end up with a system which will be much more effective in the long run.
Centralized format. For
Yes. Now, what I've done here is I have separated and made one list of classes and one list of students. So now I have the same students here, and I've still got some problems with the names of the classes, but now at least, whether I've got underwater basket weaving and basket weaving, at least I've got the fact that it's 8 o'clock a.m. and it's Chappelle, Kyle. And I'm not going to have Chappelle, Kyle for one student taking the class and Kyle for another one and Mr. Chappelle for a third one.
You're still missing an ID on that second one, though.
Good point. Let's fix that, shall we?
So those are different tables, or?
They're different tables. I have one table that I've called students, and I've got another table that I've called classes.
Originally there was one.
Right. I started off with just one called students. Now I'm in my process of normalizing. I haven't actually created anything in SQL yet because I'm designing my database structure. Very important step
You always
that
do
I
that
need
in
to take.
Excel?
Huh?
You always do that in Excel?
No, I just do it in my head and then do it straight into SQL. But it's a good idea to start in Excel while you're getting the idea of normalizing. Okay? After a while, normalizing becomes second nature to you. And in fact, it's hard for me to explain this process to you because it hurts me when I showed you that first screen up there. It's just like, ew, that's gross, okay? And it's hard for me to look at it. And pretty soon, as you work with databases, you'll start to get the idea, what? I've got duplicate data? Horrors! I can't imagine having duplicate data. It's a terrible thing. And when you've got discrepancies and inconsistent data and things like that, it's good. It's not good. Normalizing. I'm saying that word again because it's something you're going to, if you don't understand something about what I'm saying today, you're going to want to look up some kind of a tutorial about normalizing. When you get to your final project, every final project is going to have something to do with databases. You are going to have to create your own database, and I will expect it to be in fourth normal form. That's a technical term for the process that I'm going through right now and explaining. I will help you through that process, but I want you to have a good idea of where we're going. So now I've got two tables up here. I'm on sheet 3, which is actually the 4th tab in the Excel spreadsheet, if you're looking at it down below. And I now have changed from these inconsistently named class 1, class 2, class 3 to just putting in the ID of the class. Do you see how that works? So before, if I had said, well, let me try to find, if I was back here, and I said, let me try to find the teacher for the basket weaving course, how would I have found it? I searched for basket weaving over here, it's not there. Or I searched for the literature class over here, it's not here. Because it's called English over here. It's not called basket weaving over here, it's called underwater basket weaving. So these inconsistencies made it so that I couldn't look up one from the other. Yeah, they're supposed to be the same.
I thought those were different classes, like
No.
basket weaving and advanced underwater basket weaving.
And you see the kind of ambiguity, that comes up when you don't know, well, what did he mean by this? Maybe literature and English are two different classes. We don't know when we don't have consistent data. But when we've substituted all those out and we've replaced all of these class names with class IDs in this section here, then I can very easily look up the class name based on the class ID, right? So if I wanted to find out John Jones's classes, I could say select class from, select star from classes. Well, let me just type it out for you. Select star from students, comma, classes where
Name equals.
class 1 equals, yeah, that'll work.
all name.
Class 1 equals classes.id, or class 2 equals classes.id, or class 3 equals classes.id. All right? And that will give me all of, because I've got this star right here, let's just get from classes, because that's the only one we're interested in. Oh no, we were doing it for which student?
John Jones.
And students.id equals 3. And I need another parentheses here. Okay? You see how that works?
Why do you have the parentheses there?
To make sure that the ORs are grouped together and are separate than the student ID. In other words, if class 1 equals classes ID for John Smith, I don't want to report that one. So all my ORs are only after we've made absolutely sure that student ID equals 3. Okay? Questions? Let's go and look at something real quick.
What's the dot ID you're adding at the end? Is the dot a special character?
Okay, you specify the table name dot field name or table name dot column name in order to specify that my ID is from the classes table and not from the students table. Okay, that's how you do that. I created 3 fields over here, num2, num3, and num10. Did you get a chance to look at those at all?
Tiny.
All right. Num2 is imaginatively names and has the numbers 1 and 2. Num3, as might be expected, has the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And num10 has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I suggested that you experiment with selecting from multiple of these. So if I say select star from num10, and then say go, then we get the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I edit this and say from num10, num2,
Did you click on inline there?
inline, yeah, I clicked on the
You
inline.
need the quote.
No, because I was consistent in my naming and didn't use any spaces or question marks or anything like that. All right? Now, what do we have here?
It never made any sense to me.
We have redundancy. Should I add a where statement where the ID is greater than the greatest ID of the previous one? What are you trying to...
Use capital N instead.
My bad. All right, let's see if that'll work. Nope. Doesn't like here. Num10.num as num10, num2.num as the, what's this? Maybe the star. All right, so this is basically showing you which field is coming from which one. This is the num10, this is the value that's coming from num10, and this is the value that's coming from num2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
So for every number in num10, there's all of them, all the ones in num2.
Exactly. For every one in num2, there's all of them in num10. Or for every one in num10, there's all of them in num2. Now, let's expand this a little bit.
Why aren't the as capitalized? Are they keywords?
Oh, they should be. I'm sorry. I'm just being lazy right now.
But we're supposed to be lazy.
All right. So now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to include num3 here. Now, this last time we had 20 total. Where do you get the number 20 from? What's significant about the number?
10.
2 times 10. It was num10 plus num2. So 2 times 10. Let's see. Okay. 60 total. For every one in 1, we have everyone in num2. And for every one of those combinations, we have everyone in num3. This is how SQL works whenever you put multiple tables in there and you have not joined them with a specific condition.
It's too confusing.
I don't see what that's doing to it. None of them look like the tables they originally were.
Well, they are.
1, 2. What
It's
happens if
just-
you take a table with multiple columns? Like where's the A, B, C, D, E,
So
F,
what if they have different amounts of fields?
Wait, so what's the from mean?
Okay, the from says from which table?
How are you
Okay.
getting that from?
And I'm saying from num10, comma, num2, comma, num3.
I didn't see the rest of the
Okay?
A.
So now I put all of the fields in there, but the difficulty is I named num, 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 and so that's why I renamed them for you here, so you could see which each one is coming from. My point is, when you do a select from multiple tables, you have got to give a way of combining those together, or else you will multiply your results. If you don't say, like over here, if I am trying to look up every class where this is the case, but I don't say where class 1 equals class's ID, then it's going to give me for every record here, it's going to give me every record here.
Instead?
Both, not instead. If I say select star from students, comma, classes, and stop it right here, select star from students, comma, classes, SQL says, okay, you want a combination of every single permutation, every single way you combine every record in both tables, I'll give that back to you. And
So
it
does it add
multiplies
them
the
together,
records.
or does it concatenate?
It gives them back to you in multiplied rows, is what it does.
So what if this were, if you're setting it equal to a variable in PHP, what would that give you?
It would give you many, many rows. Instead of just 4
Array.
rows for your 4 students, it would give you 24 rows, because for each one of your 4 students, it would give you all 6 classes. Okay? Now, this will be a little bit clearer when we go on to the next step here. Okay, we've done sheet 3, we've done sheet 4. No, we haven't done sheet 4 yet. All right, sheet 4, I'm taking the ID number here, and this is now, I've made it a little bit clear that now we've got periods as one of our things, and instead of the problem that we had here, 8 o'clock, period 1, period 7, 9 a.m., second period,
They're all periods.
that's
so you
still a
said-
problem. So what I've done is I've separated that out into a new table. I've determined that I'm going to be very consistent in the way that I name it. I have a clear starting time, a clear ending time, and I have an ID which I can put here, so that now if I want to look up my ID for this class, my period ID, I can look it up based on this ID and find out exactly starting time if that's what I want to know, or exactly period number if that's what I want to know.
That doesn't work because in students, class 1, they have 1, but, oh, so that means they did, that 1 goes to the classes 1?
Okay, so this class 1 goes to classes ID, and this period ID goes to periods ID.
Okay.
All right? So you have to be real careful thinking through how each field goes down the chain, and I have to be very careful to link those together. I'm almost out of time, and I want to finish up the last couple of things. So we have a couple more issues that we need to deal with here. What did I change in this one? Oh, I did the same thing for teachers, okay?
These are different names.
Because the teachers were named in different ways. So now I've only got 4 teachers represented in there. So now I've got a teacher ID, which goes over to a teacher table. And now if I want to see Porterfield, comma Dan, or Dan Porterfield, or Mr. Porterfield, I just construct it from each of the different fields I've got over here. And I can look that up for each class using this teacher ID. Sheet 6, I've put everything together. And now you'll notice, now this is going to be a bit of a mind stretch for you here. My students, I lost all my classes. Notice, I got rid of class 1, class 2, and class 3.
Yeah.
And I put them way over here in another table that I'm calling a class map. And the class map, for any student ID, it also has a class ID. So for student number 1, I have 3 class IDs, 1, 4, and 3. What this means is I could have a student in 1 class or in 27 classes just by having 1 record or 27 records. And I could look up which classes he's in by going from his student ID and then seeing how many rows go in here.
So there's no ID in the class map?
How would you construct this for a really, really large
Primary
site?
keys?
You can't do this manually.
Well,
There's
you
no
need
It comes up, you have to have programs which do it, and that's what you guys are going to do in your project.
What about primary
Make
keys?
programs to normalize.
That's the first
No. You do the normalizing and the database structure, but then to fill it with data, that's where your program comes in. To fill the data and to retrieve the data. That's where it comes in. All right? All right.
And
I
you just
have
a separate database?
out here on the database that you guys have been using. I have a classes table in this new normalized form. I have a students table in this new normalized form. I have a teachers table. I have a, come on teacher, oh there's teachers. I have a periods table, and I have the class map table. In this sheet that I just sent you, I have given you some examples here of how you can look up different pieces of information. You can get a list of students like this, list of students in ICT honors like this, list of classes with a teacher with Chappelle as the last name like this, list of classes that meet during period 2, you can look it up like this. And I'm going to put out there as an assignment for you guys to construct some other select statements that will take these as examples and extend them and going on into other areas. Okay?
Where does
I'll put it out on
customer
Sycamore.
table come from? I saw that on the database.
Yeah, I don't know who put that out there. Somebody must have created it.
Joshua Troy probably, because that was used for one of the tutorial that he sent you.
Oh, you know what? I created a customers and something else for that. I forgot. So that you guys could use that. What was the other one?
This is for the tutorial. I can't
Maybe it
remember.
was under student. Nah,
Bucky Roberts.
that looks like something I would have created.
Where did all those names come from?
I created customers and
You created customers.
yeah, I did. I created it for that
Age?
for that tutorial that I recommended to you that Joshua found. Okay, so if you wanted to play around with it.
Did you just type it all up in Excel or something?
Nope, I pulled it in. I used the import right here.
Oh, so it's pre-existing?
It was pre-existing. I went out and downloaded it from his site, from his tutorial site, brought it in and sucked it in and spit it out there on the database.
So did you watch your?
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much, and I will see you later. I'll put it on Sycamore.